Hello, Stephen Key here. Thank you for watching. And I'm going to do another deep dive. You see, I'm going to show you exactly how I did some of this stuff years ago. And it's even easier today than it was when I was doing this, because guess what? We have the internet, easier to get to companies, easier to build prototypes, easier to use all these tools that are available. I had to kind of figure it out on my own years ago, but it's a lot easier today. Okay. This deep dive is going to be about how to submit ideas to different industries, doing it differently. Because at the end of the day, you want to come up with a lot of ideas, but if you get hung up building prototypes and overthinking it and only coming up with a few ideas, that's not going to work. You're going to need to come up with a lot of ideas. So I'm going to show you in this deep dive what I did in the candy industry. I'm going to show you what I did, let's see, what other industry? I think it was the toy industry and a couple other ones. So please watch it, and hopefully you'll learn something about it, because there's more than one way to submit ideas, but you want to submit a lot of ideas so you're not killing yourself. Here, this is Stephen Key. James, roll it. Hello, Stephen Key here. Today I want to do a deep dive on some of the products that I submitted and how I submitted those products to companies. As you can see here, this first one, Eraserhead, I had a little write-up. This is back in 1993. A little write-up, just having fun. In fact, my wife helped me with that. She was great at the marketing copy. And then eventually I would do a little drawing too. You can see here, here's Eraserhead. You take this little eraser, and as you correct your homework, you kind of style the head. Before you know it, the little guy's bald. I call it Eraserhead. Here's another one here called Space Lids. I was really fascinated with fast food packaging and how I could make them into toys. So this little project was called Space Lids. And here's a drawing to show what it is. That's right, these are little lids on soft drinks at fast food restaurants that you could take them off. And here's a little alien that pops up, and you could even take it, and I think you could throw it and make it a flying saucer. All right, here's another one. Puzzle lids. There you go. I'm always thinking about packaging and how I could make packaging into toys. And the reason why I was so fascinated with packaging at McDonald's or Burger King or any number of these guys is that they go through so much of the packaging, but it is a fairly expensive to build products like this on packaging that they throw away pretty fast. So here's puzzle lids. And you could see, that's right, there's games on top of these lids. All right, let's go to another one over here. Mix and match cups. Like I said, I'm back playing with packaging again. I absolutely love it. Mix and match cups. Basically, here's a picture of the first one I did. It's got Mickey Mouse. When you spin it, Mickey changes outfits. Here's one here that when you spin it, all these animals change. There's 3 different parts. Then you can actually see, here's the actual prototype that I actually kept. There it is. And I made this probably down at Kinko's, copy machine, no big deal. And I was able to license this concept to a company, Gin & Trudeau, and it sold in all the Disney theme parks and retail stores, basically around the world. And I'm going to show you this right here. All right, as you can tell, I did license a rotating cup and canteen. I guess that's what you call it. I want to show you up close what that prototype looked like, because it was really quite ugly, and it was made out of paper. There's the prototype right there. And what's really great about it, I made this, it's out of paper. It was a regular cup, and I just put these sleeves that you could turn it here and make different animals, stuff like that. And you would just spin it. That's all it is. And of course, it's a pretty simple idea. But a company liked it, Gin & Trudeau. I sent them this, and sure enough, they took it and they started making these rotating canteens. You can see this room right here. You spin it, and there's little windows. There's windows here. There's a little straw that pops up. You can see this here. And they did a lot of different designs. I'll show you all the different ones they did over the years. And this sold in all the Disney theme parks and stores around the world. In fact, they even did it on smaller containers. Here's a real small one that if you spin it, it shows you some of the fun stuff you can do at the theme parks. So they did them in different sizes. Pretty pretty simple from paper to plastic. I didn't have to do any work at all. All right, I'll show you a few more. This company loved this concept of spinning so much. As you can see, they put it on quite a few different types of products over the years. And it sold for about 5 years, and like I said, in all the Disney theme parks and stores around the world. I was fascinated in the candy industry for a couple years. Candy and toys, how you could bring them together and create something new. So candy and toys, how you mix and match, bring it together, create something new. And I started submitting a lot of ideas to this one particular company. They had the Spin Pops. They're very successful. They had a lot of products at Toys R Us. And like I said, I submitted a lot of ideas here. And you could see, and the way I submitted these ideas, I did not build prototypes, and I didn't even do drawings. I would give a list of ideas, just like you see here. It's just a complete list of ideas. And I'd send them over just like that. As you can see. And the list goes on and on and on. And what's really crazy about it, if the president liked it or didn't like it, he would send me basically a letter back. This was Trapper Toys. And he would say, here it is. He would number them just like I numbered them. He'd say, not on the market, not focused, on the market, seen it before, things like that. And what I really liked about it, at the very beginning, you cannot do it this way. I built a relationship with this company, and so they knew I could come up with a lot of ideas. And it wasn't about prototypes. It was about generating a lot of ideas and explaining those ideas real quick to see if there's any interest. And if there was interest, I would go ahead at that time and actually maybe do a drawing of it. He liked this one called the Pyramid, the Great Pyramid, and you can see it here. And then if he liked it even more, maybe I'll build a prototype, but basically they would take care of the rest. And you can see a couple other ones. He liked this idea here. Now remember, these are just candy toys. Here's another one. But what was important was not building prototypes or filing intellectual property. What was important were just concepts. And what I liked about it, you could see that I could generate literally hundreds of ideas very quickly and get them over to companies to see if they liked them. Then I would develop them a little bit further. So now you're thinking my prototype ability is pretty lousy, okay? And I'm doing all this work just by a drawing or a one-line description. But I want to show you that sometimes you have to take it a little bit further. So this particular concept I really liked was for the toy industry. It was Spot, the Wonder Dog. And Spot was this plush dog that you could put in different positions. And sure enough, someone did like it. So I built it out right over here, and you'll see that. Look at that. Yes, that's right. There's the box that I built out. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? I'll say, I think. Very proud of that. And then you'll see the prototype I made too. And of course, you can put Spot in all different positions. Here's another concept that people liked. I did end up licensing this. It was an expandable bag for kids. And sure enough, you could fold it up. It was this size. But then again, you could expand it to much larger. I don't talk a lot about this, but I was able to license this expandable bag. In fact, one was round and you could throw it like a Frisbee. Now, I loved working in paper, and here you can see this concept here. This was a back-to-school folder for kids, and of course, I loved doing things that were fun. School wasn't my favorite activity. So here's a folder. You open it up, and there you go. You can play football. You see a little football there. You would put it between your fingers. You flick it and see if you score 2 points, or I think it's 2 points, yeah, or 1 point. So anyway, here you go over here. This is called Cool Pals, and you can see it. I love this concept because my kids at the time, when they were going to elementary school, it was really hot in Modesto, and I thought, gee, their food is really getting warm in here. And you can see my daughter, she, with the prototype there, it was made out of paper. And of course, I would show it here in the icebox, and I will show the prototype on camera. Okay, you did see the prototype basically it was blue ice that I had designed. They were out of paper, and because I had mentioned to you I was living in Modesto and it was really, really hot, and I was afraid that the sandwiches that Janice was making, by the time my kids got it at lunchtime, they probably looked awful. I didn't want to eat it. So anyway, I came up with this idea, and I called them Cool Pals. You can see them right there. I don't know if the lighting's too good. See it there? And that's all it was. This is actually production. It's got blue ice inside of it. It's pretty cool. But all I did was build it out of paper, took some great photographs, and guess what? When you take photographs with a color paper, they look real. And a lot of my prototypes were done that way. So this is really simple, and I licensed it. Thanks. Okay, so you can see there's lots of different ways to present your ideas to companies. From a one-line description, once you build a relationship with the company, so you can keep on feeding them a lot of ideas, and that's what's really amazing about that. Once you go ahead and build a great relationship with the company, you can start submitting ideas that way. That way, if they like it, great. If they don't, go on to the next one. And you're not spending a lot of time and money, and you're really just using that creative, your creative ability, and that's what they really want anyway. Prototypes are expensive. Now, you can also tell that if a company liked it, I went a little bit further. Sometimes I did a drawing and let them take it from there. But sometimes if they liked it, I actually went ahead and built a prototype, because I love building things with my hands. But be careful. You can spend a lot of times perfecting a prototype, which might be a waste of time. So anyway, that's kind of the range of what you need to do to submit ideas. Now, I've done a lot of videos on sell sheets. Now, make sure you get to watch those too, because sometimes using 3D computer graphics, you can have someone create your idea from a sketch on a napkin to make it look real and put a sell sheet together. Today, it's much, much easier than when I first started out. You guys, you've got all the tools. When I was doing it, there wasn't even the internet. Now you can do all this stuff faster than I ever could do it. So your chances are going to be far greater than mine. Anyway, hopefully this deep dive got you thinking about how can you bring your idea to life and how can you submit ideas to companies. And don't worry about it. The goal here is to come up with as many ideas as you can. That's the trick here. Once again, Stephen Key here. Thanks for watching. Subscribe down below. And I'm going to keep doing a couple of these deep dives because I actually like it. And I kept all this stuff and I don't know why, but I guess it's coming in handy now for you guys. Thanks. Stephen Key here. Hi, this is Stephen Key. And I just want to thank you for watching InventRight TV. We're here to save you time, save you money, and show you how you can bring your products to market through licensing. So please subscribe down below, click on the button, and tell your friends.